Hola. Today I thought I would talk to you guys about a topic that I know some of you struggle with, and that is the structural undersketch of a face. Not everyone uses this technique. Some people just draw a face and they don't actually do any undersketch layers. That's totally cool. But if you do undersketch and you do the structural face, let me talk about something for a second. Specifically, I wanted to talk to you guys about the circle ellipse method. I'm not going to say you're doing it wrong, unless you are doing it wrong. But I will say that if you don't know this method already, then you might give it a try because it is immensely useful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do both methods. I'm going to do the regular circular ellipse method, and I'm going to do this flat surface circular ellipse method as well. I'm going to draw the exact same person so you can kind of see how the undersketch, how the structural layer influences the development of the face drawing. Of course, I'm going to preface this with there is no right or wrong way, just explore, see what works for you. But I'm showing you two different ways of drawing a head. One using the circle understructure and one using the flat face circle understructure. So left is circle, right is flat circle, just to clarify. And I use the mask technique to kind of map in the eyes. I use a triangular shape to map in where the nose goes, and then I just follow the perspective of the face for the mouth. But things to note as to why you might try one or the other is when I was learning how to draw, they pretty much only showed you the left-hand method, and that's great, and a lot of us have learned how to make this work for us. But if maybe sometimes you struggle with it a bit, or maybe sometimes you feel like your faces are turning out a bit lopsided in perspective, give the right-hand method a try. Because with the right-hand method, we have the circular shape of the cranium, we have the wraparound, but it's just the features of the face don't wrap around so much, and because we're using a flat surface to put the features of the face on, it can actually end up being a bit easier and can sometimes even look a bit better. So as you can see, I'm pretty much drawing the exact same person on both the left and the right. I'm trying my hardest to keep that maintained, but in the end I actually like the flat surface with the circle. I like that result better. Maybe you think differently, that's totally cool. I mean, art is all up to the eye of the beholder as to what looks good and what doesn't. So of course some days I might do it like I do on the right, some days I might do it like I do on the left. It all depends on how I'm feeling. It all depends on the way I choose to attack a problem, because I mean, if we get down to it, every single drawing that we do is a problem. Not because it's hard to solve, but it's because it's a problem-solving skill. When you draw something, you're figuring out how different shapes and negative space and angles and line widths and hues and tones and colors interact with one another. You're figuring out how to portray that idea onto a canvas or on paper or whatever it is that you're using. So every single drawing that we do is problem solving, and sometimes you're going to choose to problem solve it like you do on the right. Other days you're going to choose to problem solve it like you do on the left. In the end, it's just knowing a variety of approaches on how to answer this problem solving question. And the more you know, the more approaches that you're familiar with, the easier and the more comfortable it'll be when you're drawing. You might even have a preferred method, and that's totally cool. Like I said, I started out drawing on paper and whatnot with the methodology on the left, and I've kind of changed where I sometimes prefer almost to do it like the method on the right. So preference can change, it can evolve, everyone betters themselves in different ways. Sometimes we just prefer a certain way of doing things, and that's totally cool. Doesn't mean it's the only way that you go about doing things, but having a preferred method is totally okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going in and kind of finessing the line work and just cleaning up the color ever so slightly. This is like my sketch style. It's what my comfort level is when I'm doing my sketches and everything. I thought this would be the quickest, most efficient way to kind of display the difference to you guys. Obviously, there are fundamental differences in the way that both sides look. I believe the one on the right is more structurally sound than the one on the left. The one on the left is a bit more organic looking. Some of the features are a bit closer together. Some of them are a bit bigger. That's partially to do with just the fact that I did the same drawing twice, so there's evidently going to be differences. But part of it is also because my groundwork, my wire structure underneath, started differently. So because I started with the ellipse on the left, because I started with the flat-faced ellipse on the right, those structural differences influenced the final drawing ever so slightly. And if I'm being honest, at this point, it's basically just a makeup tutorial. You put your lipstick on, you do your hair, put some blush, maybe some eyeliner, yeah, all that stuff. Tone it down a bit, add some gloss. Yeah, it's a makeup tutorial at this point. Oh, don't forget your earrings. And straighten that hair up a bit. Put some hairspray in there. So just to clarify things, the circle one, we start out with a circle, and then on the circle, you add the jawline and the rest of the face, which can be a bit confusing sometimes. So the other method is you have your flat surface, but you combine the flat surface with the cranium. And that's really the difference between the right and the left. So this is the structure that I started out with, and that became this sketch. You can see the differences already. And that became this sketch, and that became this. They almost look like sisters, but one is more attractive. I hope that was helpful, and I hope I explained things clearly. If not, let me know in the comments. I'll try to clear it up. I will see you guys next week with another art-related video. I also wanted to thank you for making it all the way through this video, unless you didn't and you actually skipped ahead, in which case your conscience knows. But hey, you have no idea how incredibly helpful it is that you sit through this video and give it a thumbs up and subscribe and come check it out every week. So thank you guys. I appreciate every single one of you who does this, and cheers to you if you do. If you can't wait till next week, just find me on my socials, which are linked down below. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Thank you. Nagi mis.